Hello, it's Reija and welcome to the very last video challenge of the Reading Rush. We have made it. I've done all the challenges now. I did all the Instagram challenges. I came, I saw, I conquered. So today's video challenge is to tell a story about a recommendation that someone gave you that was significant to you. And I personally usually nowadays don't really take just one person's recommendation and run with it. I usually listen to a bunch of people talk about a book and then make a decision based on that, and I tend to read reviews and such. So usually there's just not one single recommendation that lights up in my head and makes me go, yes, that was a significant one. So we are going to the source. And the source is when I was a little girl, about 7 years old. I had just started elementary school. I had learned to read fairly quickly at school. And my mother was very keen on me reading lots of books to practice my reading and to get at a good level at it so that I could, be more efficient in my studies. My mom is not a very avid reader, but she's always been very pro-education. And she told me that one of her favorite books growing up were the books written by Anni Svan, who was a Finnish author who lived in the late 19th century and early 20th century, and she basically invented the Finnish girls' literature genre, and she also translated fairy tales and such. So I read those Anni Svan books. All of them are pretty rags to riches sort of stories. The protagonists are always sort of down on their luck, always from the lower class, lower financial class, and usually they end up being mistreated by relatives or abusive caretakers, and then something happens and their luck turns, and then they sort of find success in some way. And I loved those kinds of stories as a kid, and I devoured every single one of those books. I think there were almost 20 of them or something, and I really liked them. And I'd actually say that I can trace some of my favorite tropes and favorite narrative choices that I still like to this day to those books and to that recommendation, because Anni Svan's books made me then go and read Astrid Lindgren's work like Ronja the Robber's Daughter and also Tove Jansson's Moomin books. And I've noticed that there are similar sort of themes in all of these, and when I've read adult works and fantasy and science fiction in my later years and teenage years and adult years, the same sort of themes still are attractive to me. And those are books that are character driven, have a kind of a core group of friends, like a unit that has a lot of domestic scenes. Those I can trace straight back to Anni Svan's books. Also a strong-willed, resilient hero or heroine. That's also something that was in those books. And also this stubbornness and this unwillingness to let others put you down. I really enjoy those types of characters in books. So yeah, I would say that that recommendation from my mother has helped make me into the reader that I am today, and those books still resonate with me even to this day. And I would really like to know in the comments your recommendation stories. What are some recommendations that you have had in your life that are somehow significant to you? I would very much like to know, because I find this topic really interesting. Or if you don't believe in recommendations at all, I would also really like to know about that. I hope you had a marvelous reading rush, and I hope the rest of this month and the rest of summer is more restful to you. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!